Forgive me if the story that I'm about to share with y'all starts off a little dark. I promise, by the end of the video, we're all going to be shaking our fists at the devil saying, "Screw you, devil!" Now, I'm going to be using some different words by the end of the video, but I didn't want to start the video off cussing. All right? But people need to remember that everything in life isn't always going to be sunshine and rainbows. We are all going to have our own trials and tribulations. Two things that people need to remember. Number one, you are not the only one going through these types of things. All right? And number two, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Now, due to the zinger in this story, I just want to go ahead and tell my family members, mom, grandma, especially, I'm okay. All right? I'm fine. In all actuality, I'm better than fine because a new door has opened up for me. And we'll touch on that a little bit later. All right, so we all good. I'm just sharing my story because I've already learned my lessons from it. I've grown from it, and we're moving forward. All right, I don't need any drama. I don't need any pity or sympathy from y'all. I'm good. All right, we thugging it out. Now, before I get into the story, let's go ahead and start off with the message because I understand that most people won't make it to the end. All right, there's a huge difference between God and the devil. I know, mind-blowing. I know. I'm ahead of my time with that one. But it's how they come to you in your time of need. Yes, the devil will come to you in your time of need. But see, the difference between God and the devil is that God gives willingly and abundantly. The only so-called cost that God has is that all you have to do is call on his name and he's there for you. The devil, though, his cost is something that you're more than likely not going to want to give him when the time comes to pay your debt. You feel me? You see, the story begins with me already being kind of in a mood. I made a video, the January 8th New Year's Resolutioners video, where I talked about this quote that I heard where, and I'm paraphrasing, but January is for dreamers, December is for reality. Everyone in January 1st, it says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. In December, did you really do it? Yes or no? Did you accomplish that goal that you set out for? Yes or no? And you see, I was in the mood because I have like these three things in my head that I want to manifest, that I want to experience in my life. And it just seems like I have to do more and more and more. I have to wait and wait and wait. And sometimes my patience gets thin. And my bad moods often come from my own impatience, not trusting God, not trusting the universe, acting like I have to help God and the universe out to bring things into my life. You feel me? So I was already kind of in a bad mood. To get myself out of this mood, I decided to just watch a movie, And it was from me watching this movie, I realized that I have a huge trigger. My trigger is watching like really riveting. It has to be a really good scene, really powerful scene. But it's scenes of like war veterans going through PTSD breaks, like psychological breaks when they have their PTSD moments. They're back in the mud, they're stuck in the trenches, they're in the darkness, they hear the voices, the screams, they can hear the screams, they can see the fire, all that type of stuff. Because even though their body is out of the war, their heart and their mind is there. And sometimes that eats at me too. So whenever I see that, it puts me in that same type of mindset where my PTSD comes from college. And I've shared my story with that multiple times. Now, I'm renowned for not doing well in the winter. It really does feel like my soul dies in the winter, It's like I'm always moody. I'm a lot darker than normal. I'm already a dark kind of individual, but I'm even darker. I'm even going deeper into the depths of my soul in the winter. Cabin fever, seasonal depression, all that type of stuff are factors into it. But I know that my cells feel cold. They go back to college, right? So I hit my trigger and, the thoughts that started running through my mind started going crazy. All of my shortcomings, all of my insecurities, all of my things. This is what happens when you don't cast your burdens unto God, you see? And I was just spinning out. I was going crazy. I mean, I was like, I won't go as far as to say that I had a psychological break, but I had what I call a mental avalanche. Now, I'm sure there's probably a real term for it out there, but, all my thoughts just collapsed on me all at once. It got so bad though. I started throwing stuff on I was throwing stuff around my apartment. I was slamming down books. I love my books. And I was slamming them, throwing them down haphazardly. We got to the point that it got so bad. I'm literally slapping myself in the head, like beating myself upside the head. It was bad. That's probably the worst one I've ever had in my life. You feel me? That's the worst one I've ever had in my life, you know? And it was almost like in a hurricane. Like I hit the eye of the storm where I was ranting, I was screaming, I'm throwing stuff, I'm smacking myself, you know, like I'm in the floor, just like I put a sock in my mouth and I'm just screaming so, you know, my neighbors wouldn't hear this random dude just yelling in his house before I had the cops called on me. You know what I'm saying? And when I had this eye of the storm moment, you know, this is where the kicker comes in. This is why I warned y'all. You know, it was quiet. It got to that point where my mind just went silent. And it was literally like in a movie, like a video edit, where like my life kind of glitched for a second. And I got this image. So in my room, you know, in my TV media play workout room, you know, I have like this workout tower and there's like this pull-up bar. And when I had this little glitch, you know, I saw a noose hanging from my pull-up bar. You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes I'm very thankful for my hyperlogical mind, because my first thought when I saw that wasn't like, oh, is this the day? Am I gonna do it? Is this what it's come down to? No. What happened was my mind said, where would I even get a rope for that? Like, I don't even know where I would buy that. You know what I'm saying? That was my first thought. My second one, however, was, wait a minute, I'm too pretty to kill myself. I'm too pretty for that, especially like that. Oh, hell nah. Nah, these are not my thoughts. This is the devil. Ah, you motherfucker. You showed your hand, bitch. Now I know what you want. You tried to get me. You see, it was, y'all seen that Cat Williams interview where he reminded us, and I say reminded us because this is something that a lot of us have heard before, but he reminded us that the devil can't create anything new. You see, when you have unresolved insecurities, you know, when you have issues, traumas that you're not dealing with, that you're suppressing, all you're doing is loading the devil's gun. You know, you feel fat. That's a bullet in his six shooter. You know, you hate somebody. That's a bullet for him that he can use against you. You got past traumas that you haven't dealt with. This is all the ammo that he's going to use to get you to do his bidding. See? He can't create nothing new. He can't even create a body in this physical dimension. So that's why he tries to get into your mind. That's why he corrupts you with the poisons. That's why he gets his elect officials, the ones that take the oaths, the ones that do the crazy things. You know how Hollywood, you know, the people that are the most famous, you know what they did to get in those positions. Those A-rank, those S-rank celebrities, these politicians, these people in power and influence that just seem to pop up out of nowhere, that seem to like rise to these ranks so quickly. The ones that really had like a very lackluster, you know, come up, but then all of a sudden they're in this huge position of power. What do you think they did to get there? They made a deal with the devil. And some of them can't handle when it's time for the devil to come collect. That's when they start to try to switch up on people. And that's a lot of what you're seeing now in the political landscape. You feel me? But nevertheless, man, when the devil showed his hand, in all honesty, my storm was over. Because I realized these thoughts weren't mine. He tried to use me against me. There's a clip in the Peaky Blinders. Where Thomas Shelby, and I hope this isn't a spoiler alert, this thing has already been out for months. If you haven't watched it by now, sorry. But nevertheless, like there was a point where Thomas Shelby had the revelation where it's like his enemies at the time, you know, they tried to convince him to kill himself, essentially. And he had the revelation that the only way to kill Thomas Shelby is for Thomas Shelby to kill Thomas Shelby. Otherwise, you external factors, you little peons, can't fuck with me. Nah, the only person that's going to beat me is me. So the devil will tempt you. And you see right there, the devil tried to make a deal with me. Damn, bro. Hey, man. Hey, you feeling tired of feeling like this? You tired of being lonely? You tired of being ignored? You tired of feeling like there's a box around you? You tired of God making you wait to unleash your full potential? Yeah, that God, dude, he been making you wait mad long, bro. Everybody else look like they out there having fun, bro. But nah, man, God gotta make you wait. I thought you was chosen. I thought you were here for a message. I thought you were here to do something good in this world. Why is he keeping you on a leash? You see, he's gonna try to get in your head. Because if I took his offer, what was the cost? The cost was my life. To end this dread that I was going through, it was my life. Oh, you want it to be over? Hey, I'll get you something. Just sign that on the dotted line real quick. Go ahead, put your head through that little rope right there, and you good. Don't worry about your body. I got you, bro. I got you. You see how he works? You see, he can't do nothing on his own volition. You have to do it, and that's only if you don't know whose thoughts are whose. Are these your thoughts, or are these their thoughts? You see what I'm saying? When you overcome that type of stuff, you realize, oh snap, I am the creator of my life. Through God, whenever I get lost, whenever I don't know which way to turn, you just fall back on God. This is why it's very important to pass on your burdens unto God. God can't be weighed down. God gave you that burden to see if you were going to pass the test. But if it's too much for you, he'll be, oh, I'm sorry, my child. Yo, man, I didn't mean to push you like that. We'll try this again. Let me give you another test. I'm infinite in the test I can give you. Let me build you back up to this point. We'll revisit this another time. You see me? You see me? You feel me? You see me? Came out at the same time. You seal me? But nevertheless, now I bring up the test because I talked about a door that was opened up for me, right? You see, everybody in their spiritual walk will be presented with new forms of power, with new lessons to learn, with new teachers, with new whatever, new magic, new alchemy, new practices, new techniques, new speakers, new teachers, all that type of stuff. And we all see them when we're supposed to. That's why I feel that a lot of people make the mistake in the spiritual world that, oh, you don't know what Palo Santo is? You don't know what sage is? Oh, I'm more spiritual than you. Oh, you don't know who the sylphs are? You don't know what the sigils mean? You don't know, oh, I'm more spiritual than you. In the religious realm, oh, you haven't memorized the Bible? You haven't memorized the Quran? You don't know this? Oh my God, how can you call yourself a Christian, a Jew, or a Muslim if you don't know these things? You see, people fall into their ego. Religion, spirituality, you can still bring ego into it. You know what I'm saying? Just like how you can't run from your problems because your problems run with you. You can't drown your problems with alcohol because your sorrows can swim. You feel me? It's like, this is the type of stuff that I pay attention to. But you see, this was a test for me. God's strongest warriors get the strongest tests. I was given a way out. You see? Oh, you tired of this? You tired of waiting? You don't trust me? All right, let me send one of my minions. Let me send the devil to test you, to give you one of the strongest tests. You're one of my strongest warriors, so I'll send one of my strongest children to give you a challenge of your life. I guess literally in that situation. Let's see if he passes. I actually came to this revelation this morning. That's why I'm recording this, because when I passed this test and I started to cuss out the devil, I was like, yo, fuck you, bitch. That's why you got kicked out the house, motherfucker. That's why you had to run away and try to go do some other thing. God gives to all of his children, his obedient children, he rewards us openly and abundantly. But you can't make shit. I can, because I'm co-creating with the Father, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the time I was on. I talk shit to the devil in my free time, just like the FBI agents that be watching my videos. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking to myself on my phone, I'm talking shit to them FBI agents. I'm pissing them off too. But you can't touch me because I'm protected. I told y'all. Any chosen ones out there, you know that we are always going to come back stronger. And when we realize that you tried to pull one over on us, be fearful of our wrath. Our wrath is just as bad as those demonic things. You ever seen a light so bright it hurt your eyes? All right then. Don't get me wrong. I do consider myself a dark, benevolent person. I really do. I love the darkness, to be honest with you. But I want to save people from falling too dark in. I want to be like a buffer for people. I like the darkness. I sit in there. I am light and cheerful and happy, but don't get me wrong. It's because I'm harnessing the darkness for good. That's just how I get down. Some people may not like me saying that out loud, but it is what it is. I'm getting all over the place. I'm talking my shit now. I told y'all I was gonna get ramped up. But my challenge was, are you ready for this next level of wisdom? You see, I have stumbled across what is called the Olympic spirits. Some people have probably already known about this, and to be honest with you, you may already be working with them under different names. You know, whether they're archangels, whether they're planetary gods, you know, whether they're Greek, Roman names, Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, Mars, all that type of stuff. See, I never cared about that type of stuff. I never liked powers outside of me. But I realize now, it's like, you know, from this, I started to learn about why is my name Prince. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but let me just tell y'all my door that's open, and then we'll just go around. All right, but nevertheless, I learned about the Olympic spirits. I read this book called the Arbitel, you know, and this is the book that, you know, that shared this type of knowledge with me. And, you know, when I was reading it, it just gave it, first of all, my ears started ringing. That's my telltale sign that something is indeed for me. I wasn't comfortable with invocations and summoning different energies and spirits at first. So I said, let me read through this whole book before I jump into it. And as I was reading, they talk about how God is there for you. God is giving. God is this. These angels, they got you. They're going to do this for you and that for you. They're all benevolent spirits that are here to help you. You know, these governors have offices. They got legions. And you know how many times I said that I got the angels behind me? I got legions. There's offices, there's princes, there's governors, there's all this type of shit. And I was like, yo, I see the sigils for their stuff, and it didn't scare me. It didn't make me feel any type of way. In all honesty, it felt like I was coming home. I'm coming back to the office. Now, of course, there's ranks in this. You know, we always talk about how we're kings, you know, when we greet one another, peace king, peace queen, God, goddess, all that type of stuff. To be honest with you, it's like the door has reopened for me. It's like, nah, fam. I mean, yes, of course, we are kings and that type of stuff, but I'm falling back from the king title. I'm a prince. And there's a whole power that, see, we have this ranking system. Things have to be better than everyone. There has to be first, second, third, gold, silver, bronze, you know, kings, prince, dukes, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, it's just a role to play. Nothing is better than others. Like, each soul has something to learn. Each soul has a role to play, and through that role that you got in your life, that's what your soul was going to learn. And there's a reason why I'm Prince. There's a reason why, you know, I was born into a family where my mom was a huge Prince fan. There's a reason why my family color is purple. That's royalty right there. And you have to remember, this is just my own revelation. You find your own, you know, but it's like, for me, it's just like, you know, if my name is Prince in this 3D realm, the slowest, the more physical realm where everything is moving slow to the point that it can be solid, it can be physically experienced. If everything transpires from the higher dimensions, wait, I still retained my royalty in the 3D? Who am I all the way up there? Who am I in the 4th, 5th, 20th, 1000th dimension? You know, what is my true lineage, right? Because I share with y'all a story from way back when I was on like the huge leaps and bounds in my spiritual awakening, where like I told y'all I had a dream where like there was like a procession, there was a whole performance being done in my honor, where there was like a whole bunch, it was like a group of women like doing some type of dance, nothing erotic, nothing sexual. It was just like, you know, a very celebratory ceremonial dance. And I was sitting on the throne, and I just knew that this was for me. This is the type of stuff that is transpiring. But if you are limiting yourself and you're letting these dark forces down here win, come on, fam. You're robbing yourself of your greatness, whatever that may be. You know, I don't say any type of royalty to bow down and do this type of stuff. Nah, fam. But there is a reason why I have issues with authority. There are reasons why I only gravitate towards the top level speakers, the people that really have substance. I don't care if you homeless. I don't care if you on TV and famous. If you can teach me something, I am going to sit at your feet and learn, because that is my job. I'm the young man. I'm the prince. I'm here to learn so I can give out even just as abundantly as my father, the true king. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like, you know, the true king is God. But, you know, even like I said, the true king as in my earthly father, Big O. You know what I'm saying? When you're around this type of energy, when you see other strong, burly ass men come check in with your father, come on, fam. And I'm sitting right next to it. When people treat you differently, when they find out that you the quote heir to the throne. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't plan on being a biker or anything like that. But you know what I'm saying? It's like they know, oh, that's Big O's son, and they start treating you differently. I used to hate that. But now it's like, hey, that's the energy that naturally gravitated to me because I'm the prince. I'm a prince. I'm a cosmic prince. That's the revelation that I got from this. You see, as long as you don't give in, as long as you don't make that deal with the devil, as long as you don't sign your soul away, you are going to have this type of revelation. Some of you, and this is a borrowing from Isis wisdom, some of you don't realize that you are entire planets. Some of you are entire galaxies. Some of you are like spiritual assassins. Some of you are the master healers come back to learn more. Some of you are all these things, but you will never figure that out if you cut the contract too early. You know what I'm saying? Thug it out. That's just the only advice I can give to someone, because that's just how I find success. You gotta thug it out. You know, there's always the light at the end of the tunnel. You have to remember that it's always the darkest before dawn. You know, if you give up too early, you'll never see the greatness that lies behind the greatest challenge of your life. You know, and not to really make a joke out of it, but to actually be light about it. You know, in video games, when you realize when a lot of kids are about to lose, what do? They rage quit. So when you think that you can't overcome this obstacle, what are you doing with your life? You're rage quitting. There's no way I could beat this. There's no way I'm ever going to overcome this. I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to give up. It's over. Don't do that. Clutch up or shut up. Take your L. Take your ass whooping. If I cut my arm right now, it's going to heal. That means you got another chance. You got a green Mario mushroom. You got a one-up. Why would you give up when you get nothing but chances and chances and chances to grow? Get your ass beat, learn, heal, try again. Get your ass beat, grow, heal, try again. Eventually that level 10 monster ain't gonna be a problem to you because you went and trained, you leveled up. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up. Come on, man. It's like at a certain point you're gonna laugh at this thing. You know, and I've used this example before. You know, I got this little, I mean, I got calluses now from my, doing pull-ups and stuff. But like, I got this little mole or whatever in my hand. A lot of you don't realize you're in the darkness because your tunnel vision on this mole. When your hand is this close to your eye, that's all you see. So right now, all you guys see is your failures, your temporary failures. All that you see right now is your insecurities. All you see is your doubt. That's where all of your attention is going. And where attention goes, energy goes. That's all you're seeing. Zoom out. This same zoom out piece of advice can apply to a lot of people, especially like the conspiracy theorists out there. And I'm talking about the conspiracy theorists that just be making shit up, not using evidence and coming to a conclusion, but you just be making stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Not the conspiracy theorists that the CIA has used to dissuade people from listening to you. I'm talking about those of you that just need some attention and you're just coming up with theories. That's who I'm talking about. Your life is more than what the government is doing. You go, oh, I hate the government. I hate the lefties. I hate the liberals. I hate vegans. I hate meat eaters. I hate them. You hate them so much, but you're giving them all of your attention. At a certain point, yeah, fight your fight. If you feel it's worth the fight, then fight it. But you still have to live your life. You still have to learn your lessons. And if I had given up, if you had given up, we wouldn't have ever become the force for good in this world. And breath. Till the next one, y'all. Peace.